Greetings and welcome to Encouraging Student Interaction, Motivation, and Active Engagement. I am Dr. Sharice Wyndham Gay, course mentor for classroom management at Western Governors University. On behalf of myself and team, we'd like to thank you for joining us today. As we begin our journey together with student interaction, motivation, and active engagement, let's consider the following. Good learning, like good work, is collaborative and social, not competitive and isolated. Work with others often increases involvement in learning. Sharing one's own ideas and responding to others' reactions sharpens thinking and deepens understanding. Ponder how you would go about creating a collaborative and socially interactive environment. What steps would you take to promote this process? Let's take a look at motivation and instruction. We seek as educators to create a sound and instructional learning environment. Using teaching methods that motivate students and attend to individualized student needs is definitely a priority. We already know that students learn at different pace, they learn at different levels. How do we approach meeting the needs of the individualized learner? One suggestion for making certain that you're meeting student needs individually is 7 Ways of Teaching Weekly Checklist. And this is printed by Skylight Publishing. This checklist focuses on 7 different approaches to delivering instruction. Let's take a look at those. We have verbally, linguistically learning, logical, mathematical, visual, and spatial. Some students learn best by movement, kinesthetic learners, body, music, rhythmic, interpersonal, and intrapersonal. Teachers should aim to include all 7 approaches into their lessons as much as possible, but is recommended at least once a week. Let's take a look at a primary classroom and how that might look for spelling. 10 words, a similar lesson, classroom, 7 approaches, how it would be implemented. Looking at Monday, students will listen to the words as the teacher pronounces and spells each word. Tuesday, they will use sand trays to write each word with their fingers using the sand. Definitely kinesthetic. Wednesday, students will use note cards to color code words by spelling patterns and rules. Visual. Thursday, students will orally break the words up into syllables and clap out the words. Friday, students will review the words by typing them all on the computer before testing. And so we can see various examples from a primary classroom that is inclusive of 7 instructional approaches of making sure that we are trying to meet all styles of learning within our classroom. And of course, this will be adjusted based on the grade level and age appropriateness of the students. As we transition into motivation for students, when we look at implementing effective instruction and positive feedback, we want to motivate students to demonstrate their absolute best behavior. Feather looks at a person a person's motivation and given task as a function of the following formula. Expectancy times value equals motivation. In the formula, expectancy is defined as the degree to which an individual expects to be successful at a task, and value is defined as the degree in which an individual values the rewards that accompany that success. When using this theory, students must feel successful at the task, not the teacher. If the student does not feel successful, then the formula will not be successful. As we look at what motivates our students, we look at intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation comes within. And some examples are here: driven by interest, enjoying the task, satisfaction, a sense of accomplishment, promoting cooperation. When we're looking at involving students in the planning processes, having them take an active role in their learning, such as engaging in student-led conferences, having them chart their own growth and development, having them be a part of the decision-making process and setting their own goals. Those are all things that promote intrinsic motivation with students. As we look at extrinsic motivation, we have outcome driven, things that are provided from external factors, such as rewards or incentives, grades, trophies, applause, promoting competition. Those are things that intrinsically we are providing motivational tools from an external force. All of those things help to motivate and keep students going. And it may vary from student to student as far as what is successful. These are just simple examples of intrinsic and extrinsic motivational tools. All students may not come to us motivated. The goal is for them to leave motivated. But how do we approach those students and support those students who are unmotivated as educators? Helping students to concentrate on the learning task without the fear of failure by promoting some of the following: concentration on the task rather than becoming distracted by the fear element of failure. Responding to frustration by retracting their steps, finding mistakes, or figuring out alternative ways to approach an issue or a problem instead of giving up. Let's look at some ways that we can approach this. If this process did not work in meeting the goal, let's look at some alternative processes, taking them through the thought process. Attributing their failures to insufficient effort, lack of information, or reliance of the ineffective strategies rather than the ability. All students have the ability to succeed in whatever they put their mind to. And so rather than having the student or allowing the student to focus on the failure, allowing the student and teaching the student to work through those things that led up to the goal not being met, and looking at a can do attitude rather than a can't do attitude. All are efforts to assist in supporting unmotivated students. As we look at promoting active engagement with all of our students, there are several activities that teachers can use, some listed here, in promoting active engagement in the classroom, getting students up and moving. Of course, our general discussions, debate, having labs, promoting graphic organizers, journal writing, having guest speakers, discussion and note taking, having students utilize the hierarchy of uh, Bloom's taxonomy, looking at Marzano's research as well, and having students to perform at the highest level of achievement. All of these are examples of promoting engagement within the learning environment. I'm always one to share with teachers and educators that our attitudes are very much contagious. And so, as we are promoting active engagement with our students, we also want to be excited about the learning environment as well, and being able to bring in color and bring in things that are tangible for our students to be able to manipulate and to learn and grow from. Here are a few references that was utilized within the development of this slideshow. Feel free to peruse and to research further. Any of these references can definitely provide additional support as we continue to move forward with our learning goal. We would like to again thank you for joining us for this session. We hope that it's been resourceful to you, and we look forward to continuing this journey together. Have a wonderful day on purpose.